And due to circumstances beyond our control, we have returned for another exciting day of local television. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Happy Tuesday, 27th day of August, 2019. I'm Dan Kuntz, your host. Thanks for starting your day with us here on the NCW Life Channel. Got some good stuff for you today. First of all, the weather is going to be just beautiful. Another gorgeous day here in God's country. Going to be warmer than yesterday, but not as warm as tomorrow. Wednesday is going to be downright hot. We got a high pressure ridge. It's about 200 miles, centered about 200 miles south of the Pacific Ocean. We're on the very far eastern edge of that dome of high pressure, but it's kind of sliding our direction. And that's going to give us lots of sunshine and very warm temperatures. Forecast details are coming up. We also have, of course, your news to get to. Lots of news on this Tuesday. We'll have sports as we continue our prep football preview. The school being profiled today, Cascade High School, the Kodiaks. Eric Granstrom, our sports director, went up and talked to the head coach of Cascade yesterday. We'll talk about their upcoming football campaign in the Caribou Trail League when we get to sports. Also, the Mariners and lost to the Yankees. I'm not gloating. I like the Mariners. The Mariners are my second favorite team. My favorite team are the Yankees. So there you go. Sorry about that, kids. Nothing I can do about it. It's just what it is. The obscure holiday today in history, birthdays. Everybody's entitled to Mike McNaughty's opinion in the second half of the show, just in the nick of time. Last week we went to Westside High School, that nice campus on 9th Street in East Wenatchee, across from Wenatchee Valley College. We talked to the principal, Kory Kalahar, and a couple of teachers. We talked to Heidi Monroe and Jennifer Devereaux, and the timing couldn't be better because today, this August 27th, is the first day of school for the Wenatchee School District. Yep. Back to school. Eastmont starts tomorrow. Some schools start even later on in this week, and some schools don't start until the Tuesday after Labor Day. But Wenatchee bats lead off. They get going today. So back to school, and people go, well, wait a minute. Wenatchee starts today, but Eastmont doesn't start tomorrow, don't they? Everybody has to do 180 days. That doesn't change unless you're a senior. You get that last week off. So I'm told. I can't remember. It's 3 minutes after the hour. Let's take you around the valley with our Valley View cameras, courtesy of Localtel's Sky-Fi high-speed wireless. Always beginning the festivities, of course, is our cross camera located adjacent to the cross at the very tip of Wenatchee Heights. And a beautiful morning there. Sun came up at 6:13 this morning. It'll go down at 7:51 tonight. That'll give us 13 hours and 38 minutes of daylight. Again, we lose about a minute and a half of daylight a day this time of year, but we still got a lot of summer to get to. Trust me, when we get to that forecast, it's going to be a warm one. Absolutely gorgeous view, just incredible view there from our 4K camera. Some of these cameras are 4K, gives you 4 times the resolution than a regular high definition camera does, but either way, I mean, it still looks phenomenal, whether it's 4K or 1K or special K, whatever the case may be. Camera 2, where are we going, Malcolm? Malcolm's pushing the buttons today. We're going to take a trip to, apparently, there. Oh, there we go. Oh, thank you, Malcolm. That's Blag Mountain. I recognize that because you can see Leavenworth way off in the distance. Beautiful. I've been up to the Blag Mountain tower site there. That's quite the trip, as you might imagine. Lots of switchbacks and lots of times on that roadway where you really hope nobody else is coming down the other way because there's just no room for 2 cars to pass each other on a couple of locations, and so somebody's got to back up quite a ways. Beautiful view from the top of Black Mountain, which ironically enough overlooks the football field in Peshastin, where the Cascade Kodiaks play. Good morning to our friends in Leavenworth and the greater Peshastin area. Camera number 3. Hello to Arrondo Rock as we look at Lake Aniat. Beautiful view there. That's one of our lower cameras, but there's a lot of people who have really nice homes right along Lake Aniat there. And there's no fiber there, and so they use that particular site to point their dish at that area, and then boom, they got internet. This whole internet thing, by the way, I'm on record as saying this is going to take off. It's going to be a big thing. I wouldn't lie to you on that. Camera 4, where are we off to, Malcolm? That would be Billy Goat, looking phenomenal this morning. Also moved just a little bit. Moved a little bit to the east, so we can see a little bit more of the Columbia River. You can't quite see where the Methow empties into the Columbia River because they got that glare there. And I don't know if you remember or not, but a couple of months ago we had a bird dropping on the lens. I think a rainstorm or some wind took care of that. The sun is glaring right down into the lens there. at Billy Goat, one of our highest. I think it's actually the highest camera that we have from an elevation standpoint. It's up there a ways. I think they told me it's like 4 or even 5,000 feet above sea level. Yep, it's up there, but that's how the system works. And way off in the distance, on the left-hand side of your screen, you can see Mount Kalispell, which is in Canada. That's how far you can see from the top of Billy Goat Ridge. So that's our tour around north central Washington, again, courtesy of Localtel Sky-Fi high-speed wireless, which means you don't need fiber run to your house to get high-speed wireless. If you have a cabin in the woods or whatever the case may be, we have, I don't know how many sites, a lot of them, 80, 85 of them all over north central Washington. If you can see any of these areas, you can get high-speed internet. You don't have to have fiber. Give Localtel a call. Find out if you qualify. 6 minutes after the hour from the National Weather Service. That way, if you don't like the weather, you can blame the government. Looks something like this. Summer weather, it's here. It's hanging around. It's going to be hanging around for, well, as you can tell by looking at that, quite a bit. High pressure continues to build into the region. Today, sunny and warm. We're going to get to 91. I don't know. I don't think so. I think probably upper 80s. I think they're a little aggressive there with the National Weather Service, but certainly well into the 90s on Wednesday. Yesterday's high, Monday's high of 83 was actually, 1 degree below normal. Our normal high on Monday would have been 84, so it actually was 1 degree cooler. And yesterday's low of 54 was actually 5 degrees cooler, and it is cool outside. With the clear skies, we're at 57 degrees outside of our studio, so it's a little chilly. So basically, Wednesday, even warmer. Now, we are going to have a few clouds late in the afternoon on Wednesday. So sunny through the middle part of the morning. By early afternoon, it'll be a few clouds. It's certainly going to be hot. No real wind to speak of. Weak system comes through Thursday, about 94. No wind, by the way, at all in this forecast. 94 on Friday, 94 Saturday, lower 90s on Sunday, right out into Labor Day weekend. So if you're heading south, by the way, right along the Oregon-Washington border, you could see a thunderstorm. I don't think it's certainly not going to happen here. We're pretty sure about that. Outside of that, warmer than average conditions are going to prevail into Labor Day weekend. Yeah, Labor Day weekend is this weekend as we bid adieu to summer unofficially, of course. Summer doesn't end until the autumnal equinox, and we're still a ways from that. So that's your forecast. We're going to take a little break and then come back with the news. It's just a 1-minute break, so don't go anywhere. Grab your cup of coffee and come right back and join me, and I'll let you know what made news yesterday all over north central Washington. The news is 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, live this morning from Studio 49 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Live channel.
My first experience with CVCH, I had to come in with my daughter by myself with a cut in my hand that required stitches. And the care and compassion at CVCH was really significant, that they took the care and compassion and made me feel more as a human instead of just a patient there. The care they have for their community all around, inside and outside the clinic, is what I feel like is different. And that's what makes me want to come back to CVCH and recommend them to my friends and family.
SkillSource specializes in assessing and guiding youth, adults, and laid-off workers who want to improve their skills. Here you can attend in-depth workshops to assess skills and interests, make career plans, and learn computer basics.
Learning centers provide eligible youth and adults individualized computer-assisted basic education. Vocational training is arranged with approved providers like community colleges or on the job with businesses.
Don't wait any longer. Let's get working on the future you've been dreaming about.
9 minutes after the hour, lots of sunshine, 57 degrees outside of our studios. We'll top off, upper 80s, maybe near 90, mid-90s, a distinct possibility on Wednesday. A little cooler, but not much on Thursday and right into Labor Day weekend. Here's what's making headlines on this Tuesday. Emergency crews kept busy Saturday at the NCW Fair in Waterville. One incident, a woman found out that her pregnancy and a carnival ride were a bad combination. Sean Ballard, a Ballard ambulance, said the woman started having contractions during the ride, but she did manage to make it to the hospital on time, and she gave, without having to give birth on the way. Congratulations to her. Also on Saturday, a horse racer was kicked in the head, but insisted on getting back to racing after having his bleeding head bandaged. Also at the rodeo, a man assisting with the chutes suffered a fractured pelvis after an encounter with a bull. The fair wrapped up its 4-day run on Sunday. It's going to be 6 or maybe even 7 More weeks until the Waste Management Transfer Station in South Wenatchee Avenue is able to reopen. The transfer station has been closed since a fire back on August 6th. A part needed for operating the sliding arms at the station needs to be custom made. That's causing a delay, according to Waste Management spokesman Gary Chittum. The fire was in an area housing hydraulics that operated the sliding arms that caused smoke to pour out of the facility. Again, this happened on August 6th. The cause remains under investigation, by the way. Residents can use the landfill itself in East Wenatchee. If you have just residential waste, you can take it to the Dryden Transfer Station. Well, a major new apartment complex in downtown Wenatchee has received the green light to proceed. Wenatchee City Council members approved the agreement with Widener Apartment Homes to build a 5-story, 225-unit housing complex that includes underground parking. The property is currently a public parking lot at the corner of Kittitas and Mission Streets. The project is being developed by Widener Apartments, which also built the 2 apartment complexes alongside Riverside Drive. Widener Representative David Avenell testified at Thursday's public hearing.
We're here tonight just to kind of ask for your support in this partnership as a whole and the development agreement. It's a big step towards, a downtown living option for Wenatchee, and we're excited about it. Like I mentioned, we have experience in the market here. I was touring the Riverside 9 project earlier today and going over the occupancy rates with them, and we're at about a 95% rental rate right now, and I think they anticipated to go up a couple more ticks in the next couple weeks. So people are here, and they're excited about what we've brought to market so far. We're excited to continue on that path with you guys. I think the next step is this site, and I appreciate you guys considering that.
The project is supported by the Wenatchee Downtown Association. Executive Director Linda Haglund said it's located within the Central Business Zoning District and situated just a block from the Link Transfer Station and Centennial Park downtown. The project is getting some pushback, however, from neighboring business owners, such as Steve Stroud, over parking.
I've been there 30 years. It's jam-packed every work day, up and down the block. Around the corner, the wild huckleberry is there. There is no place to park out front on a regular basis. You're adding 500, that's the number just given, 500 vehicles to this spot with 100 parking places. I'm not a genius, but that doesn't work. It will negatively impact my business, and I'm very much concerned about it.
The council ended the public hearing with a unanimous vote to proceed with the development agreement, which requires the developer to construct adequate parking for the housing development and to provide public parking for 100 stalls through a parking lease with the city. The project is slated for construction in 2022. Northern pike is considered an invasive species that threatens endangered salmon. The Grant County PUD reports they have yet to be found in the Columbia River below Grand Coulee Dam, but the utility, well, they've posted warning signs like this one at Crescent Bar at all its Columbia River recreation areas as a precaution. Anglers who catch a northern pike, like that big bruiser that you see there from Lake Roosevelt, they should remove it from the river and report it to the State Department of Fish and Wildlife or the Colville Confederated Tribes or the relevant PUD, depending on where exactly you caught the northern pike. Dr. Paul Gordon is the new superintendent of the Wenatchee School District, and he appeared on yesterday's edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, and he said during his first few weeks on the job, he's enjoying Wenatchee and finding the district a good fit.
And really felt like the skill set that I bring was a good match for the school district and the work that still needs to occur. In every school district across the country, there's a lot of work to be done. But the foundation here is solid and true, and it's a great place to start. And you can't say that with every school district that has an opening.
Gordon also talked about his proposed levy increase of 30 cents per $1,000 of assessed value as the district continues to deal with budget shortfalls.
As we look at the financial landscape and understanding where our district is at, we believe that the 30 cents, which equates to about $1.58 million that we'll be requesting of additional levy resources, which will be somewhere probably by the end of the day, somewhere that will increase about 23 cents up to probably around 28 cents by the time the valuations all come in. But the rationale is the board and the past administration did some great work last spring, hard work last spring, to make some tough decisions around roughly $4.5 million in cuts. And those cuts needed to be made as we look at the 4-year projected budgets. Each and every one of those were needed, and additional cuts will need to be made. We think, as we think short term and long term, the 30 cents is the right place for us to be. As we also have to consider the impact of a possible future bond for our high schools and for our other facilities. There's a lot of work that needs to be done in our facilities. And then past that, in about a year and a half, we have to go back out and repurpose the levy again. And that will require community vote to reauthorize that levy. So we're trying to be very mindful of our taxpayers while also making sure that we're delivering on our core work, educating students.
Finally, on this Tuesday morning, check out this video courtesy of our friends at the Chelan County Volunteer Search and Rescue Crews. This was on their Facebook page from over the weekend. It was a training exercise. The dog, the canine, is Roland. His handler is Bob Inn, and they went to helicopter hoist training that was hosted by the King County Sheriff's Office and the King County ESAR. By the way, they report that Roland handled his first helicopter hoist well. The procedure allows insertion and extraction from very remote areas. You can't go wrong with dogs in helicopters, and that's what's making headlines at 17 minutes after the hour on this Tuesday edition of Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley. Don't forget the news comes your way tonight at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. 5, 6, and 10, the news with Grant Olson, Eric Granstrom with sports. What happened on this Tuesday? We put it all together for a nice little program. It's called the NCW Life Evening News. You can check it out at 5, 6, and 10. You can also watch it on demand by going to our website at ncwlife.com. We'll have the news up and running and posted and ready for you to peruse at your own convenience just about 4:30 in the afternoon. The news with Grant Olson and Eric Granstrom coming your way tonight. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we got sports, the obscure holiday, today in history, birthdays. Everybody is entitled to Mike McNally's opinion, and 3 folks from Westside High School are going to be my guests in the second half of the program. The principal, Kory Kalahar, will be joining me, and a couple of teachers, Heidi Monroe and Jennifer Devereaux. It's the first day of school, Westside High School. It's a great school. You're going to learn more about it between now and 8 o'clock. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life.
SkillSource specializes in assessing and guiding youth, adults, and laid-off workers who want to improve their skills. Here you can attend in-depth workshops to assess skills and interests, make career plans, and learn computer basics.
Learning centers provide eligible youth and adults individualized computer-assisted basic education. Vocational training is arranged with approved providers like community colleges or on the job with businesses.
Don't wait any longer. Let's get working on the future you've been dreaming about.
You love to help others. You need a solid career. You can have it all with help from Charter College. Our 10-month medical assistant program prepares you to work in healthcare settings like physician offices, rehab centers, and clinics. You'll learn to take patient vitals, assist with exams, administer injections, and maintain medical records. When you're ready to launch a rewarding healthcare career, visit chartercollege.edu because we work to get you to work.
Welcome back. 19 minutes after the hour on this Tuesday. The ever-widening world of sports. The West Coast League is out with its all-league selections, and 9 Wenatchee Apple Sox made the squad. Pitcher Jake Somm, the only Wenatchee player to make the all-WCL first team. Second team selections for the Apple Sox. Catcher Hunter Montgomery, shortstop Cody Darcy, outfielders Ryan Altenberger made it as well. All West Coast League honorable mention. Wenatchee's Blake Clausen, Coldy Colden, Seth Kuykendall, and Cole McKenzie. Corvallis slugger Briley Knight was chosen as the West Coast League's MVP. The Knight's Dwight Gerber was picked Pitcher of the Year, and Coach of the Year went to Brooke Knight of the Corvallis Knights. That's his 6th time receiving that award. Let's keep talking baseball. A 4-run second inning helped the Yankees. Knocked off the Mariners last night, 5-4 was the final at T-Mobile Park. Mike Ford hit a 3-run homer in the second inning and then a solo shot in the fourth off Tommy Malone. That led the Yankees. Malone dropped to 3-8 on the season with a loss. He allowed all 5 of the runs on 8 hits, 1 strikeout, 2 walks. Dylan Moore tried to answer for Seattle with a 3-run home run, his second long ball in as many nights, but the Mariners could only muster 4 hits against 5 Yankee pitchers, and they struck out 14 times. The win goes to J.A. Happ, who went 5 innings. He allowed 3 runs, 2 hits, 7 strikeouts. He'll play again today. Masahiro Tanaka will pitch against UC Kikuchi. Also in the American League West yesterday, Marcus Seaman had a 3-run home run and collected 7 RBIs. Oakland pounded Kansas City 19-4. The A's had 22 hits in the game, 4 of which were home runs, and they scored in every inning but the first. We continue our fall football preview here on the NCAA Life channel with the Cascade Kodiaks. Dom Coffin is their head coach. Eric went up there with his camera and caught up with Coach Coffin at their field in Peshastin yesterday, and he asked about how he hopes to bounce back from their 500 season of a year ago.
It should be a good year. We have a lot of guys coming back, a lot of our skill positions and a couple of our solid linemen, so the kids are really looking forward to it. We'll have a good group of seniors that are going to hopefully take us a long ways this year.
Well, everybody talks about the off-season. You told me before we started the broadcast here that you guys go to the camp at Eastern. Tell me about camp, tell me about numbers and the off-season workouts, because that's very important.
Yeah, we've been working really hard this off-season. So in the wintertime, we were doing our 6 a.m. lifts before school started, and we had a good turnout there. Then we went to Eastern camp at the end of June there. It's a really good opportunity for our kids. We played a lot of really good schools, a lot of bigger 4A schools and things like that, and we're able to have some success. And so really building that confidence was something good for our seniors to be able to have. Then we kind of carried it into this off-season workouts this summer, which we had a good turnout as well. So we're excited so far.
And Coach Coffin gets his quarterback back. That's always a good thing. It's his second year behind center, and Coach Coffin says he's expecting big things from Cole Warnica this season.
Cole should have a really good year this year. He's worked really hard this offseason, putting in a lot of time on his own, outside camps and different things like that. He had a great camp at Eastern, which was awesome to see. So we're really excited.
You were telling me that he worked a lot on his own. He went to quarterback camps, that type of thing?
Yeah, went to quarterback camps, went over to Seattle to Team USA camp, and then ended up going down to, I think it was San Antonio, got invited to the national camp down there.
Okay. He's a tall kid, a little stringy though. Has he been able to put a few pounds on in the off season?
Yeah, he's pretty big right now. I want to say he's probably around 210, 6'3", so he's worked really hard. He was one of those kids, even during basketball season, he was in the weight room at 6 a.m. getting a good lift, even if it was game day. So I'm excited to see what he's going to bring.
So now behind him and outright, you had a receiver last year in Dayton, but you say you're going to change his role a little bit this year?
Yeah, Isaiah will probably be our main feature back in the backfield with Warnica. Him and Teague Duncan will kind of be taking the main majority of our carries, but also have Wyatt Lambert, Ben Sunich, Cody Enlow, and Julian Alvarez will be taking some of those carries as well.
We'll hear more from Coach Coffin tonight on the NCAA Life Channel Evening News, as well as Cashmere coach Brian Bremer. High school football, of course, begins Friday, September 6th, and we can hardly wait. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Tuesday. And at 24 minutes after the hour, it's time for the Obscure Holiday. And today is Just Because Day. Just because. Happy Just Because Day. It's an opportunity to do stuff just because. You know, every day we do something, we do many, many things that are required of us every day. Sometimes we do them, well, we do them because we have to do them. We don't know why. That occasion does not apply today. Just because, do something. Take the day off and go fishing. Pay it forward. Pay the tab of somebody in a restaurant sitting next to you, even though you don't know it. That's kind of a cool thing. Sing out loud in your car by yourself, just because. Surprise somebody with flowers, just because. It's Just Because Day. You don't need a reason. Just because. There you go. I do that every day. Come to think of it. That's your Obscure Holiday on this 27th day of August. And I know it's Happy Just Because Day because the internet, again, is going to catch on. 25 minutes after the hour, let's do Today in History. August 27th, 1896. We're going back a ways, 123 years. As a matter of fact, the Sultan of Zanzibar used to live there. That was his place. That was his palace. The Sultan died. New Sultan got the gig, son or something. I don't know how these things work in Zanzibar in 1896. Zanzibar, of course, was a part of the British Empire, and the new Sultan said, we want out of the British Empire, and the British Empire said, no, you can't, you're part of us. And war broke out. War broke out on this date, August 27th, 1896. War broke out between the United Kingdom and Zanzibar at 9 o'clock in the morning, and at 9:38 the war was over. The shortest war in history. The British just simply, all the people in Zanzibar just kind of went into the palace and hid, and the British Navy just bombarded them, and Zanzibar said, okay, we'll stay. We're not going. The shortest recorded war in history, declared at 9 a.m., ended at 9:38. Happened on this date 123 years ago. I don't know of any number of wars that should have ended like that. August 27th, 1965, Elvis and the Beatles met for the only time, the first and only time, at Elvis's mansion in Bel Air, above the beautiful Los Angeles, California. The Beatles were on a tour. They were on a 5-day break. They had rented a big, beautiful house. Elvis lived there. Elvis was making movies. Elvis was making really bad movies and really bad music. The Beatles were making really good movies and really good music. Their careers were definitely in a different direction. But hey, you know, Elvis was one of the big idols that the Beatles had, and it was finally arranged between the respective managers, Brian Epstein of the Beatles and Colonel Tom Parker, Elvis's manager, and the Beatles and Elvis got to get together on this date, August 27th, 1965. It didn't go particularly well. They hung around for about 3 hours. They did some jamming. A couple of guys played pool. Nobody was sober. That was probably one of the bigger problems going on. The Beatles admitted that later on. Both of them said it was kind of a letdown. But hey, they got to meet each other. One of the rules that was laid down between the two managers is that there would be no press. Nobody would be allowed to take any pictures at all. No films, no recordings. So we don't have any pictures of Elvis and the Beatles or films. Apparently they jammed for a little while, but nobody recorded it. Probably wish they had. Happened on this date back in 1965. And finally, we got some birthdays. Chief executives, one who almost made it. Charles Dawes was the 30th Vice President of the United States. We normally don't do vice presidents here unless it's Spiro Agnew, because he's my favorite. Charles Dawes was the 30th Vice President of the United States. He was the Vice President under Calvin Coolidge. They didn't like each other so much that he didn't even get the renomination for Vice President. But he has this claim to fame. He wrote a #1 rock and roll hit. That's right. He wrote the music, melody and something. I can't remember what the name of it. Somebody added lyrics many, many years later, and Tommy Edwards took it to the top of the charts. In the 1950s, the song It's All in the Game. Charles Dawes, to my knowledge, the only vice president ever to write a #1 hit on the Billboard Hot 100. He was born in the state in 1865 and died at the age of 85 in 1951. And we do have somebody who made it to the top job. Lyndon Baines Johnson was born on this date, August 27th, 1908. He was the 36th president of the United States, died at the age of 64 of a heart attack in 1973. Ran away from home to California at the age of 15, got all kinds of odd jobs, and then eventually he ran out of money and worked his way back to Southwest Texas. He worked as a janitor to pay for his tuition at Southwest State Teachers College. He taught high school before he became a congressional aide, and once he became a congressional aide and he began his political career, he never looked back. He dated Lady Bird Johnson. He had proposed marriage to her on their very first date, and he was a workaholic. He typically worked about 18 to 20 hours a day. He only slept about 3 hours a night, and he would take a 1-hour nap in the middle of the afternoon. Lyndon Baines Johnson, the 36th president of the United States, born in the state in 1908. We are going to take a break. Everybody's entitled to Mike McKnighty's opinion. And today, of course, as I mentioned before, is the first day of school for the Wenatchee School District. And last week, we took our cameras to Westside High School. I talked to the principal, Kory Kalahar, and two great teachers, Heidi Monroe and Jennifer Devereaux. And you're going to hear and watch that conversation when we come back. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
SkillSource specializes in assessing and guiding youth, adults, and laid-off workers who want to improve their skills. Here you can attend in-depth workshops to assess skills and interests, make career plans, and learn computer basics.
Learning centers provide eligible youth and adults individualized computer-assisted basic education. Vocational training is arranged with approved providers like community colleges or on the job with businesses.
Don't wait any longer. Let's get working on the future you've been dreaming about.
You love to help others. You need a solid career. You can have it all with help from Charter College. Our 10-month medical assistant program prepares you to work in healthcare settings like physician offices, rehab centers, and clinics. You'll learn to take patient vitals, assist with exams, administer injections, and maintain medical records. When you're ready to launch a rewarding healthcare career, visit chartercollege.edu because we work to get you to work.
Choose the pros, Alignment Pros. When your vehicle needs brakes, shocks, struts, or alignment, choose the experts in their field. Alignment Pros and Express Lube with a 5-star rating. The work they perform on your vehicle is as impeccable as their shop. With state-of-the-art equipment, Alignment Pros can handle all large or small vehicles, specialty cars, lifted or lowered. Alignment Pros does them all. Keep your car in top shape at Alignment Pros and Express Lube in East Wenatchee.
¿Qué pasó, mi gente? Su servidor Sergio Ávila y yo, su servidor Ronnie Castro. Comenzó el verano y estamos listos para disfrutar la carnita asada aquí con la raza del Town Nissan. Vengan a disfrutar con nosotros y nuestros bajos precios, así como en este Honda CR-V por $10,991 y este Buick LaCrosse por $7,991. También les ofrecemos vehículos certificados como este Nissan Altima y este Nissan Rogue con garantía limitada de 7 años o 100,000 millas. Compra con confidencia en el Town Nissan, atrás de Casco en East Wenatchee.
With 15,000 square feet to explore, you'll find something special at the Antique Mall at Cashmere. For the do-it-yourselfers and those with a keen eye for making something old, fresh and new again, the Antique Mall at Cashmere is the place to come find your next project. From the coin enthusiasts to avid collectors, Antique Mall at Cashmere has treasures in every corner. Come find your treasure today. Antique Mall at Cashmere's friendly staff is here to help. Stop on by today.
That's pretty much it. It's a great house, great neighborhood.
It's great.
Sam's still getting used to the idea of moving.
Sam, you play basketball?
Yeah.
Let me show you something. Now I'm thinking, you put your hoop right here, and you even got enough room for a three-point line. One of the things I've noticed is that if you got a hoop in your driveway, you make friends real fast.
At Coldwell Banker Levine, our agents don't just understand real estate, they understand what home is all about.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. I've been reading a book by Roman Catholic theologian Richard Rohr. Now, I have to say, I do think a lot of Rohr's questions and the theological dilemmas he faces would be clear to him if he was married, had a wife, and had kids. Okay, now, no disrespect to the Roman Catholic Church, but both of the mysteries and meaning of life and questions and stuff like that they might have been made clear to me simply because I'm married and I have a family. Now, learning to live and get along with someone else, particularly as someone who is as different and wonderful as Rosie is for me, has caused me to grow and change in ways I otherwise never would have. That's pretty simple, actually. If the Roman Catholic Church would just let their priests get married and have kids, they'd understand our life a whole lot better. I mean, just like you and me. Well, that is, if you're not a Catholic priest anyway. Well, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
AC Checker has new owners who put customer service first. When you have to get there on time, call fast, friendly, reliable AC Checker, 663-TAXI. AC Checker has the industry's only on-time or it's free guarantee. Conditions apply. Call AC Checker, 663-TAXI to schedule your cab or schedule online at acchecker.com. Call American Classic Taxi, 663-TAXI. That's 663-8294.
Hey, this is Justin at Club Crow Bar and Grill reminding you it's your place for famous blues, brews, and barbecue. We are your one-stop bar and grill, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Jam sessions and live bands playing a wide range of music. If pool tables or pull tabs are more your thing, we have you covered. Enjoy the fun and food at Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere. Stop on by today.
How do you know when it's time to go to Boswell's Furniture? When you know the look you love, the colors you want, but need a little design help to bring it all together. With Boswell's complimentary design service, Glenn, Buffy, and Teresa guide you until your vision becomes reality. More styles, more fabrics, and more choices of quality home furnishings fill Boswell's expansive 2-story showroom so you can see it and feel it before you buy. Come into Boswell's and explore the endless possibilities of home furnishings. Boswell's on Easy Street. It's closer than you think.
So Pam, how's your mom doing?
She's okay. She's struggling. She'd like to stay in her house, and it's getting harder for her to do the daily chores.
What kinds of problems is she having?
Just basic house cleaning, you know, taking care of her house, yard work, taking care of her medicine.
Mm-hmm. It does sound exhausting.
It is very exhausting, and I always worry about her.
Aging in Adult Care can assist you or your loved one to remain comfortably and safely in their own home. Contact them today to start the conversation. Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It is back to school time. And a couple of weeks ago, a mutual friend of Kory and I got a hold of me. Kelly Kennedy got a hold of me and said, you know, Westside High School is such a great story. More people need to know about Westside High School, why it's so awesome. I know why it's so awesome. This guy knows why it's so awesome. Absolutely. And the two of us are going to educate you on why Westside High School is so awesome. My guest on this edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley is the principal, Kory Kalahar. Thanks for doing this, my friend.
Thank you for having me.
It's good. It's good to see you. Why? Kelly was very passionate about this when she got a hold of me. She goes, "We need to tell Westside's story to a wider audience."
Absolutely.
Why? What do you think?
I think that there are some preconceived notions out there in our community, and actually, you know, in the state and nation, on what alternative education really is. And so it's nice to have a platform where we can talk about what it truly is. And I think my most favorite thing to kind of educate people on is that the alternative part of alternative education is how we deliver instruction. It's not the students, it's how do we deliver instruction. And so at Westside, we take pride in delivering our instruction in in as much as possible, a one-on-one situation where the teacher is not always standing and delivering the curriculum, but the curriculum has been packaged for students to consume at their own pace. And so that allows the teacher to wander around the room and really facilitate learning as opposed to educating to the entire group. And that's what our kids love about this
So
program.
the teacher-to-student ratio is important.
Very important.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're small. Usually in our day program, which is the most like traditional school, we have about 15 students in each classroom, and then the teacher can efficiently and adequately get to each student in a class period. Spend a lot of time with them.
One of the other misconceptions I think about Westside High School is it's just a giant daycare center for kids who didn't grow up or didn't choose to grow up, and
absolutely,
that's such a fallacy, isn't it?
Total fallacy. And it's I mean, it would be great to have more people in the community come by and see us and see what happens on a daily basis. We have a lot of students who do come to us in the traditional alternative way. You know, gosh, I got behind in credits 9th and 10th grade year, and I need to somehow scramble to graduate with my class. We have a lot of students who come to us for that, but we also have a lot of students who want a different type of education. They want a smaller setting. They want more one-on-one support, or kids that have struggled and haven't gotten the academic interventions that they need to really understand math or reading or language arts.
How much does the social economic background of some of these kids play a role? Some of these kids who they were behind the 8 ball from the beginning. Mom had problems or dad had problems, and I've been shuffled through the system, and they're beat up. Yeah. They've been beat up since they're, I don't mean physically, I mean they've just been mentally whipped around to the point where they wonder what the point is, but they have a home here.
Yes.
They have hope here.
They absolutely do have home. Home and hope is huge. I think that's a huge number of our students, Dan, and that's why we have become a trauma-informed certificated program, so that we understand what kids regardless of what they've experienced, we understand how that their brains have reacted to that, and how their brains have been changed, and their learning style is different, honestly. We do have a large percentage of students that have low socioeconomic status. We're a LAP school, we're a title school, and we've got a lot of interventions and resources to help us with those students. Yeah.
Is there anything traditional about Westside High School? We talked about a structured high school or any kind of school experience, and then there's the alternative high school but what are some of the things that say Wenatchee High School and Westside High School do exactly the same? that kind of deal, the parallels.
Yeah, the parallels. Well, in our day programs, we have 4 programs. So day, night, we have our rock school and our bridges program. The day school has a lot of similarities to a traditional school and Wenatchee High School. We have different periods and different classes. We have, we serve breakfast and lunch. We have a bus system that kind of rotates around. We have the same academic learning standards as Wenatchee High School. We have the same benchmarks and graduation requirements. I think what we do differently is mostly that instructional delivery. Yeah, so we have a lot of commonalities and a lot of parallels. Yeah.
My guess is the teachers really like I know a lot of the teachers who teach here, they're very passionate about their work.
Absolutely.
They like it. This is their home.
They love it. This is their home. We have having a smaller staff as well. We are able to kind of move to the needs of what the students require. And so being smaller, we love on our students. We spend a lot of time focusing on them first and then the education. Yeah, so it's great to have that holistic approach. In fact, this week we've done a lot of teacher training. Yesterday we spent an entire day learning about a new curriculum that we're implementing called Character Strong. It's a character development program, really good about building students' understanding of who they are and how you interact with other people.
And of course, every kid learns differently.
Absolutely.
They learn at their own rate. I mean, I'll use myself as an example. I was I was very good at history and English because I was really into history and English. Math I was terrible at, and I barely got through on math. How do you tap into what some of the subjects that the kids are going to be really passionate about, teach me, learn me, make me smarter about this, and the other kids who say, I just need to get this requirement out of the way so I can graduate?
Yes, absolutely. That is the beauty of the learn at your own pace model. Students who you just described to me too in high school. I loved English and social studies, struggled in math and science, and we have a lot of students who do that. And what happens at Westside is if you need extra time in math and science, you take those courses at a slow pace. You work really closely with the teachers. They give you that one-on-one support. The classes where you excel and you thrive and you enjoy, you just burn through them, and that allows the students to actually take more of those classes and then meet the requirements necessary for graduation at the state level in the other classes as well. So you may take 2 years to get through Algebra 1, but in that time you've gotten 3 years of English and social studies done. And the kids like that because at the same time where they're struggling and learning the contents that are harder, they're enjoying the heck out of the literature and understanding the history of our nation and the world. There's
been a lot of success stories from the graduates of Westside High School, hasn't there?
There absolutely
has. Kids who have just, they needed that boost up, they got it, and now they're going through life, and life is good, and they're contributing back to the community.
Absolutely. Yeah. Every day. And it's great. When we're out in the community, we are validated each and every day on the work that we're doing. It is difficult work. It's challenging work, but it's the most challenging work that we love to do. And it's nice to see those students out in the work community getting things done.
For the parents out there who are saying, I think Johnny would do good at Westside.
Yeah.
Who is eligible? The campus is on 9th Street here, across the street from Wenatchee Valley College. But what is the footprint of Westside High School as far as the kids who can come here have to live within what kind of geographic area? How does that work, Kory?
That's a great question, actually. We consider ourselves a choice school. So students, when they decide that they would like to come to Westside or there's a specific need that Westside can address, they choose to come to us. And so we have an application process. They can come here to the school and pick up an application, go to the district office, or even Wenatchee High School has applications as well. So there is no geographic boundary. We take students from all over North Central Washington. We have the majority of our kids come from the Wenatchee area, but students from Eastmont, Leavenworth, Cashmere, Ineat, they can all choice in. And it's more of if you need Westside and you've become, jaded in some way, shape, or form with the educational system or have struggled to a point and you're not receiving the help that you need, we're here.
There's a number of stories, and I'll just briefly, this kid had no real academic issues at all. He was a smart kid. He was going to graduate on time regardless of what school he went to. He just couldn't handle the size and the pacing of Wenatchee High School. So he came to Westside simply because he wanted a smaller class experience. He didn't want to worry about getting from one end of the campus to the other on time. Worked out fine for him.
Yes.
So that's
a very common story. In fact, a lot of our younger students that come to us, there are a lot of anxieties that young people are dealing with right now. Social anxiety is one of them. And so there are a lot of students who are just freaked out by going to the high school. Like, holy cow, there's 1,800 kids here.
Yeah.
I don't know where I fit
Plus
in or
staff.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where I
So-
fit in and where I belong. And coming to Westside, just I think mentally is a smoother transition for them, and just helps them acclimate a little bit better. We also have students who have a lot of medical needs, and so they know I'm going to miss a ton of school, and it has not worked for me in the past. I'd like to go to Westside so that I can miss a little bit of school, but not get so far behind academically. And we're thinking, gosh, if we can help stabilize that and give you positive support, what if it takes you 5 years to graduate? That's okay. The most important thing is the student themselves.
Last question before we take a quick break. Why do you do this, Kory? What drives you to come to work each day and be the principal and do what you do for a living?
That is a great question. It's the students themselves. I am very passionate about students needing second chances or a different venue in a different place. And so the way I look at it is I've been very blessed in my life. And if there's something that I can do to provide a culture and climate that is acceptable and works for kids and welcomes them each and every day, I'm going to do it. And I love it. The kids are what drives us, and I can't wait to see them next Tuesday.
Open house on the 29th, right?
29th open house. We're calling it the Back to School Bash, and everyone's going to be here.
Okay, and anybody who's just curious is more than welcome to come. You got tours. You can all that good stuff.
Absolutely. We have lots of activities. We've got food. We've got excitement. There'll be a dunk tank, so it'll be fun. Anybody from the community is welcome.
And this is actually a beautiful campus.
Beautiful campus.
It really is.
We have 6 acres of amazingness happening here.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. You should put that on the sign.
I should.
Instead of the Eagles, just 8 acres of amazingness stuff going on here. I like it. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be talking to a couple of faculty members, something like that.
Yes, I've got an English teacher and one of our resource room teachers.
All right, we're going to do that when we come back. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Thank you so much.
Choose the pros, Alignment Pros. When your vehicle needs brakes, shocks, struts, or alignment, choose the experts in their field. Alignment Pros and Express Lube with a 5-star rating. The work they perform on your vehicle is as impeccable as their shop. With state-of-the-art equipment, Alignment Pros can handle all large or small vehicles, specialty cars, lifted or lowered. Alignment Pros does them all. Keep your car in top shape at Alignment Pros and Express Lube in East Wenatchee.
With 15,000 square feet to explore, you'll find something special at the Antique Mall at Cashmere. For the do-it-yourselfers and those with a keen eye for making something old fresh and new again, the Antique Mall at Cashmere is the place to come find your next project. From the coin enthusiasts to avid collectors, Antique Mall at Cashmere has treasures in every corner. Come find your treasure today. Antique Mall at Cashmere's friendly staff is here to help. Stop on by today.
You love to help others. You need a solid career. You can have it all with help from Charter College. Our 10-month medical assistant program prepares you to work in healthcare settings like physician offices, rehab centers, and clinics. You'll learn to take patient vitals, assist with exams, administer injections, and maintain medical records. When you're ready to launch a rewarding healthcare career, visit chartercollege.edu because we work to get you to work.
¿Qué pasó, mi gente? Su servidor Sergio Ávila y yo, su servidor Ronnie Castro. Comenzó el verano y estamos listos para disfrutar la carnita asada aquí con la raza del Town Nissan. Ven a disfrutar con nosotros en nuestros bajos precios, así como en este Honda CR-V por $10,991 y este Buick LaCrosse por $7,991. También les ofrecemos vehículos certificados como este Nissan Altima y este Nissan Rogue con garantía limitada de 7 años o 100,000 millas. Compra con confidencia en el Town Nissan, atrás de Casco en East Wenatchee.
Welcome back to Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. As promised, the principal, Kory Kalahar, decided to bring me a couple of top-flight educators. Heidi and Jennifer are joining me. Introduce yourselves to our television family. You go first, Jennifer.
I'm Jennifer Devereaux, and I teach English Language Arts.
Heidi?
I'm Heidi Monroe, and I teach Foundations and Special Ed.
So Kory, when we arranged all this a couple of weeks ago, Kory said, I'll get you a couple of teachers. He chose you two. Why?
I think we were probably just closest to him when he had to make the decision.
Or we talk the most.
You were too close to the Are you a career educators, both of you, or did you do something else and then fall into education? I know the answer to you, but I'm curious about Heidi. But a little bit about your background before you landed here at Westside.
I did teach at Wenatchee High School for about 8 years, and then I worked in the nonprofit sector for another 8 years, and this is my 5th year back in education at Westside.
Same question for you, Heidi.
I have been a teacher for all of my career. So I started in Leavenworth, then I taught at the Juvenile Detention Center, and now here at Westside for 14 years.
What is it about this place that makes it special? Obviously, Kory is such an enthusiastic cheerleader for this campus. Anybody can cheerlead for anything that they're passionate about, but there's more to it, isn't there?
I think this is a very unique building, a really unique opportunity to educate kids. We're really able to kind of get to the heart of where a student is at. So many of them have a lot of baggage. They've got a lot of stresses, whether it be home or work or family or friends or social media. And they come here and they're just not ready to learn because there's so much upstairs that they can't get to that front part of their brain where they can make good decisions and where learning can happen. So we just stop right there and meet them where they are and help figure out how to kind of get past that, set some goals, give them some strategies so that they can get back to the part of their brain where they can make those good decisions and learning can happen.
So not only are you teaching kids, you're probably doing a little bit of learning yourselves as you go, right?
Oh, absolutely, all the time. I don't know if I've ever taught the same class the same way each time because we're constantly learning. The kids are coming to you with unique thoughts and where our staff is amazing at being able to be creative and flexible and adjust around the kids. And so we don't really do the same thing over and over. We're always changing to meet where they're at, and that's a learning process all the time.
As we begin a new school year, there's always that feeling out period, the first couple of weeks with the new school, new kids, new everything. Challenges are probably even are double-fold here at Westside High School as the kids show up and they're not making eye contact with anybody, and there's that. What are the challenges of the first couple of weeks to figure out, okay, this is how I'm going to be teaching Billy this particular course this year? Talk about that.
Yeah, I think our staff is like I said, amazing, and we do a lot to make sure that we're reaching the whole kid and not just the academic part of them. And so we do a lot of things at the beginning of the school year to get to know the kids, and then a lot of times the first thing we hand them might not be a match for them, but we're working with them one-on-one so much that it's easy to figure that out pretty quickly and adjust. And then the kids know that we're open to that, so they'll talk to us and tell us, this isn't working, and let us know what they need.
Same question for you, Jay.
We spend a lot of time in the beginning just building relationships with the kids. We might not really take out the assignment until a couple weeks into the quarter, because that time building those relationships and getting to know a kid socially and emotionally is far more important in the beginning than handing them a pencil and paper and saying, take this quiz. So that's where we spend the majority of our time, and I think that really helps kids to relax and realize that we really are here for them. We really want to know who they are, how they work, and how we can help them be better.
From a teaching standpoint, what's it like when they have the moment, the aha, I got it, I learned, I've figured out this equation, or I understand how to structure this sentence? When the kid has the epiphany from a teaching standpoint, what's that like?
It's better than a paycheck. I mean, that's what we do. I mean, that's why we do what we do.
Okay.
That is an awesome moment. So you have those along the way with the content area, but then when they have that turnaround as a person as a whole of, oh my gosh, I am valuable, I am worthy, I have a future, I can do this. I'm not somebody that isn't going to be successful. I matter. That when they have that overall one is very cool to watch.
Yeah, they get that control and they run with it and they start producing and producing and producing and
Sometimes faster than we can correct it.
Yeah, they catch themselves up quite quickly and sometimes even end up getting ahead and graduating early, whatever it may be. So.
Do you, I mean, when you're out and about in the public and they go, oh, it's Mrs. Devereaux, she taught me, you were so great. Does that happen? I mean,
all the time.
Yeah.
I just had a student the other day walk by me and say, Mrs. Devereaux, you had me for English. I'm 30 years old now. You know something. And so I'm like, yes, awesome. But I've also had kids in Costco that hide from me around the aisle. So, you know, it goes both ways.
And I think there's a little difference in when they see you because we've bonded with them so well here that when they see us, we're not just a teacher they had. We're a support person that they know is always there for them.
And kids know. I mean, kids know the teachers that are phoning it in as opposed to the teachers who give a damn.
Yeah.
You can't fool kids.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we think we can, but we can't. They're smarter than they let on. As professional educators, obviously, you have to keep up your continuing education credits to be certified and all that stuff. It's something that every teacher goes through. Is it different for teachers who teach at Westside High School, or is it a cookie-cutter approach when it comes to keeping your continuing education credits?
I think, like, legally, the things that we have to follow are the same criteria. But I think we have our teaching staff are here intentionally. People don't just come here by accident. There's all of the people who are teaching here are supposed to be at alternative schools. And so I think that a lot of our trainings that we choose to do, whenever we do things as staff, we do a lot to really understand the whole child and to reach kids emotionally. And the whole social emotional learning is such a high priority for us. So I think a lot of our trainings that we tend to go to probably reflect that too.
Well, actually, we'll finish because we're almost out of time. Let's finish where we began. Heidi, I'll start with you. Why do you teach at Westside High School? What is it about this place that you belong here?
At that moment that you talked about, it's amazing to see. I mean, so there's so many kids out there, not just the ones here, but everywhere that just, they don't know that they don't have that door opened in their brain yet to see what they're capable of doing, and just being able to be part of reaching that part. There's a lot of times, just some of those higher kids that just are super successful in the regular high school, they're going to make it whether or not they have good teachers or not. They're going to be okay. Some of these guys, they need us, and that's worth every moment.
Same question for you, Jennifer. Why is this your calling? Why is teaching at Westside High School where you should be?
Well, when they hit that moment and that mark, then it's also about helping them find their purpose and helping them find their why. And that's what gives them hope for the future, for their future, for the future of their siblings that might be coming behind them, future of a family that they might have. It really can just completely change a kid's life. And we believe in kids. That's the bottom line.
We believe in kids, and 8 yards of wonderfulness, or 8 acres of wonderfulness, as was Kory mentioned earlier today. Thanks, ladies. Keep up the good work. Have a really good school year.
Thank you.
Have fun on the open house on the 29th.
Absolutely.
If you're curious about Westside High School, come on by you drive by it on 9th Street all the time. Come by and say hi. The open house is on Thursday.
You might get to dunk Kory in a dunk tank.
Yeah.
That's worth it right there. That's worth it right there. Thanks, ladies. Happy teaching.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
You love to help others. You need a solid career. You can have it all with help from Charter College. Our 10-month medical assistant program prepares you to work in healthcare settings like physician offices, rehab centers, and clinics. You'll learn to take patient vitals, assist with exams, administer injections, and maintain medical records. When you're ready to launch a rewarding healthcare career, visit chartercollege.edu because we work to get you to work.
And we're back live here from Studio 15 in downtown Wenatchee. Let's wrap up this program where we began. This program with your weather forecast from the National Weather Service and summertime weather. It's still summertime. You can't forget about that. It's going to linger over the inland northwest. High pressure continues to build over the region. We are at the very eastern edge of this high pressure ridge, which is really over the Pacific Ocean, but it's pretty big. And it's pretty well entrenched, so sunny and warm today. 91, I don't think so. Maybe upper 80s, maybe 90. I don't think we're going to get to 91. Clear tonight, 67 for the overnight low. Now, Wednesday, tomorrow morning, is going to be sunny. Tomorrow afternoon, we're going to see a few clouds, and it's going to be hot. Certainly mid-90s, above mid-90s, a distinct possibility. Look at the overnight low Wednesday night into Thursday, mild, 72 degrees, and that high-pressure ridge is going to be hanging around right through Labor Day weekend. No rain in the forecast, no real thunderstorms at all in the forecast, no red flag warnings, no fire weather watches, just sunny and hot. It is still summertime, and it will be for a while longer, provided the show isn't canceled. I'll see you on Wednesday. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.